What I'm about to share is going to short-circuit your brain. OpenAI founder Sam Altman is reportedly gearing up for his most outrageous scheme ever. Drum rolls, please. A $7 trillion plan to transform the artificial intelligence industry. Yes, you heard that right. Trillions with a T. Now, I can already see you squinting in disbelief, so let me repeat. Altman wants to raise and invest up to $7 trillion in building a whole new ecosystem for producing bleeding-edge AI chips. Now, I know it sounds utterly bizarre, but this ambitious initiative might just end up turbocharging the AI revolution worldwide. So stay tuned as we break down this hard-to-fathom project and what it could mean for the future of technology. The current landscape. Now, first, we need to understand why Altman feels the urgent need for such a massive investment in the AI chip space. Fundamentally, it all comes down to the severe supply and demand imbalances in the market today. See, advanced chips like GPUs, TPUs, and AI accelerators are absolutely crucial for running the powerful AI systems that leading companies are developing. These chips provide the raw horsepower needed for computationally intensive tasks, like training machine learning models on massive data sets. However, existing chip makers are struggling to keep pace with the simply explosive demand coming from both AI research labs as well as hyperscale data centers. Major players like NVIDIA currently dominate the market with their specialized AI and graphics chips, and while NVIDIA has seen tremendous revenue growth recently, their production capacity is pretty much maxed out. At the same time, the field of AI research is hitting significant new breakthroughs almost every few months. The latest example is chatbots like Google's Gemini and OpenAI's ChatGPT. So, AI researchers, they urgently need to access more advanced hardware with properties like speed, efficiency, and scalability to train even bigger models and push the boundaries of AI even further. But with simply lagging severely behind demand, the pace at which promising AI innovations can progress gets severely throttled, and that's a big problem for the tech industry looking ahead. Expanding access to AI chips has almost become an issue of equality as well. Researchers at many universities and startups simply can't afford powerful hardware or cloud computing resources, and this bars them from competing with the AI talent at cash-rich big tech firms. And finally, dependence on just a handful of chip vendors also leads to less diversity of innovation around novel AI chip architectures catered to different use cases. Clearly, leaving things as they are poses risks not just to near-term growth, but also longer-term progress, and that likely explains the sheer urgency underlying Altman's unprecedented mega investment vision. The $7 trillion plan. Now, this is where Altman's grand solution comes in. He wants to raise investments between $5 trillion to $7 trillion and use that gigantic capital for a top-to-bottom revamp of the AI chip industry. Now, yeah, I know trillions of dollars is kind of an insane figure to even wrap your head around, but to put it into perspective, Altman's fund would pretty much be the size of the GDPs of major economies like Germany and India combined. So, what does he plan to spend all that money on? Well, a big chunk is likely to go towards buying out promising chip startups working on next-generation technologies. I'm talking about things like super-efficient neuromorphic chips modeled after the human brain, or revolutionary quantum computing chips that use exotic particle physics. Beyond flashy acquisitions, much of the funds would also go into building new cutting-edge semiconductor factories from the ground up. We'd see highly automated mega-chip foundries popping up worldwide, designed to churn out bleeding-edge AI processors 24/7. No expenses spared on robotics, clean rooms, and the works. But perhaps the most crucial investment would be in talent. Engineers, programmers, factory crew, Altman wants to build a skilled global workforce that can keep these ambitious projects running smoothly. And he plans to pull all this off through partnerships between chip makers, tech titans like Microsoft, research giants like OpenAI itself, as well as willing governments. It is one heck of a game plan. Where's the money coming from? Now, for the next trillion-dollar question, where exactly is Altman hoping to score funds for this massively expensive endeavor? Well, OpenAI is likely to pump in a few $billion to start, but to even get to that $7 trillion mark, Altman has some deep-pocketed friends in mind. I'm talking about sovereign wealth funds controlled by oil-rich nations like Saudi Arabia or the UAE. Together, they're estimated to have over $10 trillion in capital just ready to deploy. Then we have colossal private equity funds like Japan's SoftBank Vision Fund, which has already poured billions into AI. Now surely they'd be game to drop a couple trillion more. And of course, big tech titans themselves are prime candidates. Microsoft, in particular, is deeply committed to backing OpenAI after having invested billions recently. Still though, even with all of those ultra-rich contacts, raising $5 to $7 trillion, that's an incredibly bold target. But hey, fortune does favor the bold. The roadblocks. As with any scheme this ambitious, Altman's AI chip crusade also comes with no shortage of challenges. Now first off, many experts are skeptical about the economic feasibility of such a massive project. After all, the entire semiconductor industry today has revenues of around $500 billion. Building new factories with cutting-edge technologies costs tens of billions of dollars each. So, how reasonable is it to expect investments worth 15 times more than the entire industry ecosystem? Where will all this money come from year after year? Can there be enough skilled engineers across various domains to keep building and operating such an enormous industrial system? Then we have the technical barriers of trying to develop state-of-the-art hardware like quantum computing chips. These exotic technologies are still highly experimental in nature, with limited practical applications so far. Major research breakthroughs would be needed in areas like materials science, cryogenics, photonics, and microelectronics, all before they can reliably power commercial systems. And those breakthroughs could be decades away. Even established technologies like machine learning chips have extremely complex workflows, from design to verification to manufacturing. Coordinating all of this at an unprecedented global scale has huge risks of delays or cracks in quality control. And perhaps the biggest roadblock lies in the area of politics and regulations. With growing scrutiny around AI safety, job losses, data privacy, and algorithmic bias, we could see regulators place legal limits on how far and how fast AI progress can go. Countries are increasingly viewing AI as a matter of national security, so while governments might be happy to have new chip factories set up locally, they may push back hard against technologies that deeply transform economies and societies. Navigating this complex interplay of business demands, ethical concerns, technical challenges, and geopolitical tensions, well, that's going to be critical to seeing this plan fully realize its potential. Walking this tightrope between technological progress and social stability requires extraordinary long-term vision, and only time will tell if Sam Altman's grand ambition accounts for all of these realities. The final vision. Okay, so those are some really big challenges, there's no doubt about that. But in typical Altman fashion, his eyes stay fixated on the horizon and the mammoth possibilities ahead if the scheme pays off. For context, AI chips today mostly cater to consumer tech like smartphones and data centers. But in the future, they could end up powering entire smart cities, brimming with autonomous cars, intelligent robots, and other sci-fi-esque technologies. We're talking a world where AI assistants schedule your meetings, AI doctors accurately diagnose you, and AI helpers safely look after the elderly or disabled. The right infrastructure can even allow universal access to advanced AI, closing the gap between the haves and have-nots when it comes to digital tech. Now ultimately, Sam Altman's $7 trillion plan isn't only about playing semiconductor tycoon. It's about strategically positioning society to fully harness AI's world-changing promise in the decades ahead, while also managing the risks. If he does somehow manage to pull this off, he could end up accelerating global innovation in historic fashion. But on the other hand, if he fails big time, it also sets back humanity's progress at a crucial hour. Either way, the man is clearly not afraid to bet monumentally big on shaping the future direction of technology. And I don't know about you, but I'm totally looking forward to seeing how this thrill ride unfolds. Let me know what you think about this. Does Altman's grand vision excite you, or does it sound too far-fetched and risky? What opportunities or pitfalls do you foresee if the scheme takes off? As always, thanks for joining us. Make sure you're subscribed, and I'll see you in the next one.